You pour yourself a glass of wine after a long week. One glass, maybe two. The next morning, your head is pounding, your skin feels flushed, and you swear off alcohol for the 1000th time. But what if it's not the alcohol making you sick? What if the real culprit is a hidden preservative added to your wine? One that triggers asthma attacks, migraines, and skin reactions in over 500,000 British adults with sulfite sensitivity. Here's what the supermarkets don't want you to know. The EU allows organic wines with significantly lower sulfite limits, just 100 milligrams per litre for reds. Yet British supermarket shelves are still filled with mass-market bottles containing far higher levels, with no requirement to tell you exactly how much. Today, we're exposing 8 wine brands sold in every major UK supermarket that are loaded with this ingredient, and we'll show you exactly how to find wine that won't punish you tomorrow morning. 1. Echo Falls. Tesco, Asda, Sainsbury's. You know Echo Falls. It's that friendly, fruity brand with the colourful labels, the one that promises easy drinking and joy in every sip. You've probably grabbed it for a Friday night treat because it feels approachable, unpretentious. But what they don't tell you is hiding behind that price tag. After the government takes nearly £2.67 in alcohol duty on every standard bottle, there's barely anything left for actual wine. What fills that bottle instead? High levels of added sulfur dioxide, a preservative that keeps that fruity flavour consistent on the shelf but wreaks havoc on sensitive bodies. The European Federation of Allergy and Airways Diseases Patients Associations has documented how sulfites trigger respiratory distress, yet Echo Falls keeps pouring them in. Because without those chemicals, that budget bottle would taste like the low-grade bulk juice it really is. 2. Blossom Hill. Tesco, Asda. Blossom Hill positions itself as a cut above the basics. The marketing whispers quality, sunshine, Mediterranean inspiration. But flip that bottle around and read the small print. Their Blossom Hill Red is actually Spanish. Their Pinot Grigio comes from South Africa. Blend of EU wines is industry code for "we bought the cheapest bulk liquid we could find and blended it into submission." To make that anonymous juice taste like anything recognizable, they rely on mega purple concentrate, industrial yeasts, and heavy doses of sulfites that kill any natural character. The European Food Safety Authority has established acceptable daily intake limits for sulfites, yet you have no way of knowing how much is in your glass. You just get the generic "contains sulfites" warning, hiding the real concentration that's triggering your afternoon headache. 3. Hardies. Tesco, Sainsbury's, Morrisons. Hardies is an Australian institution. Their Stamp series has been the backbone of British Sunday roasts for decades. The label depicts rugged outback landscapes, implying tradition, craftsmanship, honest work. But the reality is a product designed for one thing only: surviving the 10,000-mile journey from Australian industrial wineries to your local Tesco without spoiling. That requires sulfite levels far higher than anything a small producer would ever use. And here's something you'd never guess from the label. Hardies Stamp Chardonnay specifically contains egg and milk traces, common fining agents used to clarify the liquid. If you're avoiding dairy or eggs in your food, wouldn't you want to know they're in your wine? The EU has pushed for mandatory ingredient lists to expose these additives. In the UK, that progress has stalled. 4. Yellowtail. Asda, Morrisons, Co-op. That cheerful kangaroo on the label is one of the most recognizable symbols in the entire wine aisle. Yellowtail's marketing promise is simple, democratic, unstuffy. Wine for everyone. According to their official FAQ, the only additive added is SO2, sulfur dioxide, which is used as a preservative. They're actually more transparent than most. But here's the question they don't answer. How much? The FDA in the United States requires sulfite declarations above 10 parts per million. In the UK, you get a generic warning that tells you nothing about concentration. Yellowtail spends millions on those cute commercials. They spend nothing on telling you exactly what's inside. 5. Galloway. Lidl. Lidl built its reputation on bargains, and Galloway is their answer to the big brands. At budget prices, it looks like a smart choice for the shopper watching every penny. But do the maths with me. Nearly £2.67 of every standard bottle goes straight to the taxman. After the bottle, the label, the transport, the warehouse, the supermarket's profit, and the producer's profit, what's left for the actual liquid? Pennies. And pennies buy sulfites, not quality. Industry experts who've spoken about ultra-cheap wine describe it honestly. Mass production, chemical shortcuts, and cellar techniques designed to mask poor ingredients. If you've been blaming your age for not handling wine like you used to, it's not you. It's the chemical cocktail pretending to be wine. 6. Cumbrian. Aldi. Aldi has won awards for its premium ranges, but their entry-level Cumbrian brand is where the traps hide for unwary shoppers. At budget price points, the levels of processing aids hit their peak. We're not just talking sulfites now. Wine can legally contain traces of egg, milk, and fish swim bladders, isinglass, used to clarify the liquid and make it sparkle clear. The Soil Association and organic certifiers have strict standards limiting these additives, but conventional wines face no such requirements. So while you might be avoiding processed foods, your cheap supermarket wine could contain things you'd never knowingly consume. Cumbrian doesn't put that on the label. They don't want you asking questions. 7. JP Chenet. Sainsbury's, Tesco, Co-op. That distinctive curved bottle stands out on every shelf. JP Chenet feels French, feels special, feels like a step up from the generic brands. And their marketing leans hard into that French heritage perception. But JP Chenet is a massive industrial operation, producing volumes that require absolute chemical consistency across millions of bottles. Their product pages confirm they contain sulfites. Here's the reality of the UK market they're exploiting. We are the world's largest wine importer, yet we accept lower labelling standards than the United States. Across the Atlantic, sulfite content must be declared if it exceeds 10 parts per million. In Britain, you get a warning without numbers. If you've ever felt inexplicably off after a glass of JP Chenet, your body wasn't imagining it. It was reacting to what the label hides. 8. Sancerre. Tesco. Asda. Sancerre markets itself as crisp, modern, refreshing. Exactly the kind of white wine that dominates British summers. And white wines, here's the technical truth, require more sulfites than reds. They're more vulnerable to oxidation, more likely to spoil, more in need of chemical protection to stay looking bright yellow instead of turning brown. For the estimated 1 in 100 people with sulfite sensitivity, including many asthmatics, that protection becomes a problem. The Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America lists sulfites as a common trigger for allergic reactions, including breathing difficulties. Yet Sancerre keeps pouring them in, keeps selling that crisp freshness at budget prices, and keeps hoping you'll blame your allergies instead of their additives. But you don't have to play this game. There are 2 ways to protect yourself starting tonight. The safe alternatives. First, the premium choice. Look for bottles labelled organic or biodynamic, carrying the Soil Association or EU Organic Leaf certification. These certifications strictly limit added sulfites. Under EU organic wine regulations, red wines cannot exceed 100 mg per litre of sulfites, and whites cannot exceed 150 mg per litre. Many organic producers use none at all. You'll find options like La Damnée des Prieures Organic Sancerre 2024 at Laithwaite's for around £24. For something more everyday, most major supermarkets now have dedicated organic sections with bottles between £8 and £12. That extra few pounds removes the headache risk and supports farming that doesn't drench vineyards in chemicals. Second, the budget-friendly option. Hunt for bottles that voluntarily scream "No added sulfites" on the front label. Brands like Les Gemelles Minimalist 2025 are available at specialist retailers for around £5 to £8. These wines are often vegan certified as well, meaning no animal products used in fining. Also check Lidl and Aldi's rotating premium selections. They frequently feature producers using minimal intervention methods. The rule is simple. If the label is transparent about the winemaking, the wine is better for you. These bottles exist because the producer is proud of their grapes, not hiding behind chemical safety nets. Which brand shocked you the most? Drop your experience in the comments. And if you want to watch another video like this one, click the video on the screen. Thanks for watching.